So Bavuma century was in vain as Australia beat South Africa in the first ODI by 3 wickets. And today we're going to be discussing the first ODI between Australia and South Africa in Bloemfontein. And we're going to see where things went wrong for South Africa. We're going to discuss the details about the game and see where things didn't go our way. Ultimately, it was a easy victory in the end, you could say, thanks to two particular batters from Australia. And the game was only a contest because of two batters from South Africa. So ultimately, Australia deserving their victory in this particular match, but mainly because of the way they bowled. But before we get going with today's review show, which I need to change, of course. Before we get going with this review show, there's a couple of things I'd like you guys to please do. We're on the road to 4,000 subscribers. So we are almost there. So please get us there. We're like 40 away. So please go and tell all your friends and family to subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell for all future videos. I'd also like you guys to download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly. You can subscribe now for free to get all your issues 100% free straight to your inbox every month. Link is on the screen as well as in the description. And if you want to support us here at Cricket Fanatics Magazine, you can become a patron today. If you want to support us and what we are doing here at the channel to keep things going, then please become a patron right away. Also, smash the like button, comment, and share, and go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all your regular updates. So, without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. I don't know how I feel about this one, to be honest. A very good evening and welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is your review show. I'm your host Khalid Mohideen, and this is the show where we talk about everything that has to do with the first ODI between South Africa and Australia. So let's start this one off with some details about this match. So ultimately, when I looked at it and I summarized this game, we knew on the previous show, we mentioned that this pitch is going to be slow, that not going to be an easy pitch to bat on. It's quite a big boundary. They're going to have to do a lot of ones and twos. Run between the wickets is going to be crucial. And Australia's game plan worked perfectly with the ball. After winning the toss, they elected to bowl first, and they put South Africa into bat, and they did exactly what they needed to do to kind of suppress South Africa. So South Africa is a team that is quite predictable when it comes to our batting lineup. We know that if you bog Quinton de Kock down for a couple of balls and make it very difficult for him to score in the power play, he's going to get frustrated and then he's going to try to go big to relieve some pressure, and then he's going to lose his wicket. It's happened so many times in recent games. I think that they need to find a way on these difficult grounds and these tricky grounds. Connie needs to add some running into. I know it's maybe too late for him to add something to his game, perhaps, because I mean he's already retired at the age of 30 from ODI cricket. But it would really make things a lot easier if he improved his running between the wickets. That is something that I feel that he should be doing with Bavuma as a partnership, because I think that suits both of their games on a big wicket like this. That is something that they didn't do so well today, the South Africans. Not only him, I think others too, not only Quinny, there was others too that never ran very well between the wickets. Rassie van der Dussen was run out. It was a very bad run out as well. It was a very embarrassing run out. And then Aiden Markram looking good. 3 fours, 1 cover drive, and then the next delivery top edge and out. Something that we've been quite accustomed to when it comes to Aiden Markram in this format. He looks like $1,000,000 and then all of a sudden just loses his wicket with a wayward shot. I think Heinrich Klaasen is the only batter that I think has an excuse with regards to losing his wicket. the ball, oh, maybe Keshaf as well. The ball kept very low, and yeah, I don't think anybody would have been able to stop that from hitting the stumps from Stoinis. He was looking decent on 14 of 19. He was looking like he was getting his eye in, and he was very unlucky to lose his wicket in that particular instance. Then David Miller, duck, poor performance from him. Uh, Caught fishing outside. And then Marco Janssen, and all was that happened in this game was we were just someone was just they were just looking for a partner for Temba Bavuma ultimately. That's the main thing that was happening. Um, they literally were just looking for a partner for Temba Bavuma, and ultimately that didn't happen. We didn't get to see Temba Bavuma build a partnership and get a partnership going with someone until Marco Janssen came in. Um, when Marco Janssen came into the crease, the game changed a little bit, and South Africa started fighting back. And Temba started getting into the flow of things. So he scored 114, not 117. I don't know why I said 117. He scored 114. Change that. Okay, now watching. According to Crick Info, at least. I mean, yeah. Um, he scored 114. And it was a magnificent performance from the captain. He showed how to bat on this wicket. He was patient with the good deliveries. He punished the bad deliveries, and ultimately he took South Africa to a decent total in the end. Because even when he was losing wickets at the other end with Lungi Ngidi standing at the other end of the wicket, I really was impressed with the way he farmed the strike. Now, I've been critical of certain batters for not doing so when they are in, but Bavuma basically in the last 3 overs just stood and delivered with cramp and everything. Um, he stood and he delivered. Something that I thought was fantastic from his side. He just made continue to he continued to score runs and boundaries to get to his century. It was something that I thought was magnificent from the captain to maintain calm under pressure, even though everybody else was falling around him. And I think this should take a lot of people should start to put respect on Bavuma's name, because in this particular case, the rest of the team left him out there alone to dry. They literally did that, and that is something that I don't think is fair. It wasn't fair on the captain, but I mean, he he dealt with the situation quite well, and that's something that I thought was brilliant from him. Now, I hope that this takes off some of the pressure um, from from Temba. I hope people will start to look at him a little bit differently now, going into this particular series and into the World Cup, and that we support him and we stay by him, because this is not the first time that he's put in a great performance with regards to an ODI match. I mean, against England, he was brilliant as well. So he deserves plaudits today for the way he was, for the way he batted today. And I think he definitely deserves some apologies from certain fans for the way they criticize him all the time. I mean, on social media, I've been seeing people bring up his T20 stats and explaining to or giving reasons for the way he bats in T20 as a reason for why he shouldn't be selected in ODI cricket, which is strange and weird to me, because they're completely two different formats and they approach it in different ways. But well done to Temba today, and Marco Janssen too. I mean, not completely convinced about him at number 7, but he will have to do the job for now. Um, but he batted really well and he was brave today, and I was really proud of the performance from that end. Then with the bowling, I mean, South Africa put in quite a big fight, and I think they got a great start. I mean, we had Australia 130 overs. And there were some great wickets taken today. Obviously, I really like the one from um, Rabada, who bowled Josh Inglis, and I really like the one when he bowled Alex Carey, his first delivery. He took the wicket of Marcus Stoinis as well. Could see her today. Could see her getting 2 wickets, of course. Top wicket taker today was, and with the best figures ultimately, was Gerald Coetzee with 2 for 44. Lungi bowled decently today as well, 1 for 42, 5.25 economy rate. He looks a lot better in the ODI format than did in the T20s. Kagiso bowled decently today for his 9 overs, 2 for 48 in 5.33 economy. And Marco Janssen was probably and he was the most expensive, you could say, for 1 for 44 in 6 overs, 7.33 economy rate. And Maharaj back with a wicket. That wicket was also beautiful to see. It was a beautiful delivery um, to dismiss Sean Abbott. Bowled through the gate, completely done by the spin. It was a beautiful delivery. So we kept the intensity on and we fought back and we looked like we were going to maybe pull a rabbit out of the hat here. And then the concussion happened. And then the concussion sub comes on. Manus Nabaskachni. I'm going to say Nabaskachni. I'm not saying Labashane. Manus comes in and he's not even in the World Cup squad. He's a sub for this match. And he comes in here and he scores a 80. That's a typical South African thing. South Africa will be the ones to play a match like this where the the concussion sub scores 80 of 93 balls. Ashton Agar was brilliant, 48 of 69 as well. He bowled well and to put on a 112 run stand with Stoinis. And then you could say maybe Travis Head did a good job at the beginning because similarly to South Africa, I think that some of the top order batters today underestimated this wicket and tried to go out there with an aggressive approach where the wicket wasn't necessarily conducive for that. It was important to play good strokes and run between the wickets and make sure that you keep out the good deliveries because they could keep low. And there was uneven bounce as well. It was inconsistent bounce. That was something that happened as well with regards to this pitch, and it was very evident to see in some of the wickets that had fallen. So, yeah, overall, it wasn't a very great performance from South Africa. There's some positives to take away. I think our bowlers are looking good at this unit. Bowling unit is looking decent as a unit, and I hope that in the second match they'll be a lot better. But I think that our batters definitely need to improve. They need to also read the conditions and play accordingly. That is something that needs to happen in this particular match. And it's something that hasn't happened for a very long time. Um, so, yeah, this is a call-in show, guys. If you want to call in, um, I'll post the link now in the live chat. If you guys do want to call into the show, and I'll post it now as well in the comment section, so that you guys can call in if you want to and have your say and say what you want to say about this performance. Yeah, but not the best of performances. As a South African cricket fan, it's very difficult to obviously try and support this team when they perform so poorly. I know it's tough, but we need to stick by them. And I'm hoping that throughout this particular series we'll get better and better and better. We can only improve from here, I guess. And ultimately, um, I'd like to see if we can grow from here and put in a better performance in the second match. So let me get into some of the live chat and to see what you guys have had to say. OP Blitz says Miller and Klassen disappointed me. We've got Sam saying Maharaj plays only for bowling, and CSI said he is a really important player as he cannot perform with bat. Always go out bowled. Looks like how Agar played supporting role to Manus. Indian conditions today, and in both disciplines, we fluffed our lines. 4 paces and 1 spinner. Australia played the conditions to a T. 2 spinners and 5 seamers. Rob seems needs to act up. Rob's team needs to act up and pick accordingly, says, yeah, says Lawrence. I wouldn't say they played the conditions to the T. Their batters definitely didn't. I mean, Manus Labuskaghni came in and yeah, he played a very good innings. I mean, a lot of the other batters also struggled. The bowlers definitely did. The bowlers really played to the conditions well and bowled very well. So we got a caller waiting for me in the back end. We're going to bring you onto the show now. Ahmed Shams, welcome to the show, bro. Um,
Hi,
I don't know
Khalid.
what's happening. Why
Can
is
you
it so
hear me?
slow? Sorry. Guys, it's a bit slow. I'm trying to get him in to the stream.
Hi, Khalid.
Wow. Maybe I need to close these tabs. Okay.
Can
Are
you
you
hear
in
me,
yet?
bro?
No.
Can you hear me?
I don't know what's going on here. Okay, guys, I'm just going to refresh the stream because there's something wrong with it. It doesn't want to allow me to add someone. So let me just refresh. Be back with you now. Okay, guys, I'm back. Okay, welcome to the show, Ahmed. Sorry about that. Just had to refresh it because I couldn't for some reason add you in. What would you like to say, bro?
Hi, Khalid. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly.
Oh, fine. Okay, let me just turn on the camera. Hi.
Awesome. How's it? Nice to meet you.
Me too, bro.
Yeah. So, what would you like to say about this game? I mean, overall, not that great performance from South Africa overall.
Uh, yes, I don't want to analyze that much this particular game. I think currently we are a bit low in the standards with Australia, considering our domestic structure and their one. So we have to wait a few more games to just check if things start going differently.
Mhm. I mean, that's the thing is we always feel that we're behind everybody else, but when you look on paper and you look at the 11 that we selected, I mean, everybody's averages above 50, 70. Some players, and I mean, on paper we should be doing a lot better. I mean, me personally, I feel that we misread the conditions with the bat today. I think both teams did actually. Australia's top order as well as ours. We thought that there was something in here to smack the ball around quickly. I think it was a pitch that you needed to get your singles, your doubles, and maybe threes in, and then build yourself into the innings before you start going. Like Temba did today, like Marnus Labuskaghni did today, as or Labuschagne did today. Do you agree with that or disagree?
Oh, I definitely agree with that. You need to grind a bit on this pitch and try to build a score as did Temba. I mean, he batted definitely excellently, and with two or three more players doing a bit of what he did, would have been a great result. So yeah, I agree totally with that. It's however irony of fate that another South African stood against us today. Um, Yeah, so hopefully in the next days, we'll just see different stuff from our boys, especially guys like Rassi, Markram. They need to just stand up because they have more quality than what they showed today, and also Quinton de Kock, of course.
Mhm. So let me just ask you for the next match, because our previous shows aren't call-ins. What would you do for the next match with regards to changes? Are you going to keep the same 11? Or how are you going to approach it?
We are forced to just keep the same 11 because we just already choose our World Cup squad, so we can just try some guys like Riza or stuff like that. But uh, as far as his T20 form is very good, his ODI form is not that much great. And one thing I wonder, even if the squad is already announced for the World Cup, someone like Yaneman, yes, he didn't perform well domestically, but as far as he's performing in ODIs, he's like averaging something like 47. So where was the need to just drop him? So I don't understand if someone is doing bad domestically but still doing something very good in international level, he can continue to play.
Okay, Ahmed, thanks a lot for coming on the show and giving me your thoughts. I hope you can call in the next show as well again. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thanks for hosting me. Bye.
Okay, no problem. Um, yeah, so ultimately, guys, we are. I said on yesterday's preview that I want to see this team get a good start from the beginning of the series. We are so close. We are so near to the World Cup. The World Cup is around the corner, and we should be completely up for this games from the get go. There's no time for excuses anymore. There's no times for us to make to make excuses for the side. But at the same time, we also have to analyze where things went wrong, so we know where we can improve. Now there are two games left in the series, and if we can end them off on a good note, then I'll feel a little better, perhaps at the end of the game. But we need to read the conditions. I mean, we need to read the conditions and adapt our game to the conditions. I've been saying this for so many years. I feel that at the moment, from Quinny, all I'm seeing is the same things. Over the last at least year or so, it's one way or the highway for him. He either gets he doesn't try to, for example, change things up or to work his way out of a um out of a bad situation. It's almost like when the things are not going his way in the power play, he tends to get a little bogged down, frustrated, and then he goes for a big shot, hoping to relieve pressure, and then he loses his wicket. So that needs to change. I think there are other ways to relieve pressure, like finding a gap, playing a shot into the gap, and make a good run. That's something that we need. And Timba did that well today. He stuck it out. That's the only positive I can take from my batting lineup, really. And the small and the fight that Marco showed. But we always knew that Marco is going to fight. That's the thing. Um, he's always going to have a game like this in him down the line. Whether he can do it consistently is the question, and that's going to be a problem when you're only trying to figure that out 4 games from the World Cup, basically, because we've got these 2 games and then 2 warm-up games and then the World Cup starts. So there's a lot of work to do. There's a lot of things that the Proteas need to do in the next game to actually rewrite the wrongs of this first opening game. Um, if you were going to make excuses, you could say, oh, yes, the players haven't played that long ODIs, but I'm not going to use that because they played cricket. A lot of them have played around the world. In T20, it might be different formats, but they've been playing around the world. That's the whole reason why we arrested them in the T20 competition. Ultimately, they should have played the T20s and built some momentum from there into this particular ODI games because they looked rusty today and also made the terrible decisions. We need to start. We have 2 games left in this series and then another 2 in the warm ups to prepare ourselves as best as possible for the World Cup. And then there's no more excuses. Then there's no more room for error. You have to win every single game. And we will only know if we are ready, if we can get some wins under our belts leading into this World Cup. I mean, that's what's going to give us as fans confidence. Now, look here. Um, by no means do I not believe in this batting lineup. I still do believe that they can do something special. But they need to start showing us as fans and giving us that confidence in them, because in recent times it hasn't always been very rosy and there's been a lot of inconsistent performances. If you're going to pick six batters and one backup batter, for example, and no number seven all round batting all rounder, it is of utmost importance that that your top six performs consistently. There's no room for guys to have one good game, one bad game, and one average game. Everybody needs to kick on and bat at their best consistently. I mean, when I say slightly off, maybe scoring a 40 instead of a 50, or maybe a 80 instead of 100, um, we could maybe do with a couple of one or two guys maybe having those type of off days. But we can't afford our players not to be consistent if we want to win this World Cup. We only have what we have. We have no safety belt or safety net in this top seven. So when you are going to pick a top six, it is crucial that the top six plays consistently well throughout this tournament and throughout every single game. And that's something that we need to sort out. And if Quinn is going to continue this form going into the ICC World Cup, I think they're going to have to go with an informed batter that might be in a different format, but we might have to think about playing Riza in this World Cup with Temba Bavuma if Quinn is going to continue this type of performances going into this World Cup. It's not a good sign so far. Okay, I think we need to give credit to Australia for their bowling in the power play, but we can improve is in the rotation in strike and when the things got tough, and that's 100% true, Lawrence. We didn't rotate the strike very well, and that's something that I've been speaking about for quite some time now. I've always said that we need to work on our rotation of strike. Our running between the wickets hasn't been very good for the last couple of years. It's something that we need to learn how to do when we feel that we are a little bit under pressure. It's the best way for us to get ourselves out of pressure and to get their eye in. Even if they're playing some decent shots and it's not going to the boundary, find the gap, take the single, rotate the strike, put the pressure on the bowlers so that they have to mix things up, especially when you have a left right combination at the top of the order. It's the perfect time to rotate the strike and put the pressure back onto Australia or onto the bowlers. And it's something we need to utilize much more going forward. Proteas batsman plays ball too much in the air because of the small boundary, and most of the times ball travel distance due to altitude. But the boundary wasn't small today. Four games, but you 4 games, not two. Yeah, but I was talking about in the series. Um, is how many games are in the series? Is it four? Is it the 5 match ODI series? I think I'm a bit retarded, dumb today. Can't say that word. Um, okay, sorry, my bad. I thought it was 3 matches. Okay, we got 5 matches. At least we got some time to recover. My bad. Okay, so yeah, so we've got 5 matches. We've got 4 matches left, and then the 2 warm-up games. So we've got some time to recover in this particular series. Thank you, Ahmed. Slipped my mind. I was still thinking T20s. Australia were missing 5 players. Stoinis bowled better in the power play than all our bowlers combined. I've been on this platform stating Quinton de Kock should be dropped if he doesn't perform, and let's be honest, he won't be dropped at the World Cup if he doesn't perform. And there is the problem, and there is the problem in itself: complacency. Even if we win the next four matches, it still don't, I still won't be convinced we'll win the World Cup. Um, so we need to take it. If we take it game by, we need to take it game by game and focus on what our strengths are, and adapt our games according to conditions. We can do that. This is what we have. This is what we have. We have to back the players we have. Yeah, that's true. Rob needs to get his calls right. This notion of going into the World Cup with four seamers in game most games, like he said, must get a rethink today. We need a second spinner in there. Australia showed their versatility, and also we didn't even utilize our Eden Markram today. We had a second spinner on the field, but we hardly utilized him. Stubbs at number 7, says Wakas for this series while he's not in the squad. Rob thinks that this top 6 will fire in every single game, which is lunacy. That's why he didn't pick a proper number 7. Markram lacks running between the wickets in the middle orders. Lawrence is 4 games left, 5 games. Yeah, sorry guys, I made a mistake there. My bad. Cubs, Rob, Walter, and Dumini really need to have a chat with Aiden Markham. He doesn't learn at all from his mistakes. At all, always got on smashing boundary when team not needed. Yeah, he needs to slow down a bit, Aiden. Um, it's I don't know if it's like instinctively driven into our players because of T20 cricket that they feel they need to go. I mean, on this particular wicket, you didn't need to go every delivery and smash it out the park. You could hit a couple of boundaries. I mean, we needed people to bat deep today, and all of our batters went in with a aggressive approach. Um, except obviously, Quentin was bogged down. Um, Rassi was unlucky; he got run out, but bad call. Aiden looked good, good cover drive, then got caught. Like I said, Andy Klassen got a poor delivery. I mean, a very good delivery. It was very low. Um, I mean, David Miller, I think, I don't know, concentration. I don't know what that was. Nicking the ball. And then, yeah, Marco Janssen coming at 7 is a problem, but it is what it is. We have to just accept that, I guess. Quindercock is a brilliant systems player. In a team with a good players, he is great, but in a team where he is the main guy, he checks out. The guy that doesn't fancy pressure, and I'm over it already, says Lorenzo. See Green retired hurt and replaced by Jay Hazelwood. Huh? Robbie's Robbie's very bad coach. Why don't give chance to Mulder? Says Nishant. Because Mulder wasn't performing in the domestic circuit. So in defense to Rob came in quite late into the mix, and he had really only one series to look at, to see if one series which Shukri was in charge of against England to look at, and then obviously only the domestic circuit to work with because he never got to see these players. So if you're in that scenario and you're trying to build a team for the future, you kind of going to trust the experienced guys first before you start looking at newer players, because I don't think Rob's seen Mulder enough to be able to make a call on that. Um, so it's something that we're going to have to give time to Rob to understand. And unfortunately, he's coming in with barely any time to, like, he's coming into the position with barely any time between his appointment and the World Cup. There wasn't so much time for him to prepare and build a team. He's going to kind of have to go with the experienced guys. I don't see him. I understand why he's trusted the trial and tested. It is the safer option, I guess. They need to replace Janssen with the Stubbs in World Cup. Never seen complete performance either batting sucks or bowling. Markram captain today. Khalid, if this World Cup campaign turns out to be like 2019, Rob should be sacked and Shukri should be appointed because Rob selected the squad. I mean, that's a bit harsh, I think. I mean, Rob's barely been in the job and he's already coming into a situation with a World Cup um, that he needs to play in. I mean, we gave Boucher time. Isn't it only fair that we give Rob time? I just want to be equal. I mean, I think we would have given Rob more time. I mean, CSA would have probably given Rob Boucher more time if he didn't resign. Riza should have played today. Today's conditions was perfect for Riza, definitely. I think SA will come back. You see, I hope that Rob isn't scared to drop Kwani when he doesn't perform, because previous coaches have all been a little bit fearful of doing so. Markram was really bad as captain, to be honest. I have doubts over his captaincy. We have until the 28th of this month um, to make changes to our World Cup squad. Let's see something quickly. Timber was captain today, wasn't he? It says that on the team sheet. Changes World Cup. Rob really needs to rethink going in an extra bowler. We need a middle order batting replacement. It's very clear to see. Otis Gibson, Mark Boucher, and Russell Domingo had more time to prepare for a World Cup. Yep. How many chances will Aiden? How many chances Aiden will get? Mulder is actually doing bits in England for the past 2 seasons, to be fair, but I understand why Rob didn't go that route. Yeah, he's been doing well in England, and he needs to also do well in the domestic circuit as well. Um, the more I actually think about it, Mulder should have been a perfect fit for this team at this stage in our development. 6 spaces is too much for any conditions, let alone in India. Just Ginger Josh says Proteas is the arsenal of cricket world. Batting depth is big issue. YCSA doesn't consider Shukri also going with Rob in World Cup. He knows player better than Rob. Um, Rob did not address the number 7 problem despite knowing the fact that it's our biggest issue. He clearly chose to ignore the issue. I don't think he chose to ignore the issue. I think they did look at what is available domestically, and he can only really go off the stats because he didn't get to see these players play because he wasn't in the country. He was focused on other things and other teams. So to solve and to create this number 7 out of thin air is impossible. He's going to obviously have to see who can fit into the mantra and fit into the position. Think about the timeline and the time that he's had to come into this role before a World Cup. I mean, the first series that South Africa played since his appointment, he wasn't even in charge. So it's a bit of a harsh. I think it's harsh to judge him right now. I think we need to give him some time to put a team together and build a team after he has scouted enough and seen these players in action properly to be able to see where the weak spots are and then rectify it. Let's be honest to ourselves. The Proteas are not winning the World Cup. It is painful for me to say, but it's true. And I'm not saying this based on today's performance, but how we've played for 4 years. Bavuma was off the whole innings with cramps. Yeah, sorry. That's true. Yeah, so Aiden was captain today. My bad. In the field, of course. Australia won against us despite their main players not playing. We need to spin a Simon Harmer in 7. He can bat and bowl bat. Okay. Australia 25 runs in power play and we have 16 power play. We all said Mulder must go back to domestic cricket and score more runs and take more wickets, and the guy's doing that. Not saying he should have been selective though. Vian didn't play up to the potential, so he should earn his place again playing domestically. That's what I kind of said. Otherwise, we will burn his talent. I never thought we were going to win the World Cup, but I wanted to see some fight at the end, and that's something. That's something in this World Cup that I want to see is just fight, play with some fight, and I think that South Africa with the ball today showed some fight. I think we're being a little bit like we need to give them credit there. We did show some fight with the ball in hand. And I think Temba Bavuma showed a lot of fight today to try and get us to at least something to defend because we were looking like we were going to get bowled out for under 200. And Bavuma really pulled his weight, and Marco too. They showed some fight. The rest of the batters just need to now come to the party. We know that these players are not going to play like this every single game. We can't believe that they are. It's it's almost like it's crazy that we are sitting here and we know what their averages are. And averages are supposed to tell you that the batters will do this, will score those amount of runs on average. Basically, that's what it kind of means. That obviously it's the average run scored overall. But generally speaking, we we know that this team can do it. It's not that they can't. And I think today they just executed poorly as a unit. And we're going to have to wait to see on Saturday how this team performs and how they go about their business. I'm really hoping that they can recover and 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 show us the fight that we know, or show us that what they really can do as a unit. We had an option to pick number 7, but they didn't pick. So haven't had a serviceable number 7 since Andile from 1619. They had 4 years to fill this glaring hole. But yes, but it's a problem. It's been a problem for a while, and now we are all blaming Rob for it, or some of us are blaming Rob for it, like he was here for the last 5 years. So it's going to take time for Rob to actually come and do so. I know we talk about Rob a lot, but ultimately the bug stops with him. Um, from the outside in, he seems like a guy who overthinks the simplest of things. Cricket is a simple game most of the time. Not at the last 40 runs. No, not the last 40 runs. We lost their series against us after 15 years, got whitewashed in the T20 first time, and now lost ODIs after 12 years. Trust me, Bavuma and Magala will not be fit throughout the tournament, so pick often they pick up injuries. Boucher created a good test and T20 team and neglected ODIs, said Chatley. Australia was knocking easy singles. We need good start in PL because I don't know what you're talking about. Rob and Markram shouldn't listen to fans. They have to analyze with the setup they are in. Otherwise, we would have been paid. uh, why Cobra Bosch could be considered on SA number 7 with Vian Mulder. You just want to promote everybody like straight into the team. Robbie's taking us back to the playing smart cricket philosophy. It doesn't necessarily seem that way with Rob, though. Funnily enough, Tis Gibson, Mark Boucher, Russell Domingue had more time to prepare for a World Cup. It's true. Proteas always remain in illusion that bowlers will dominate in ICC tournament, but they never did because they can't bowl consistently and breach defenses, says GMW. But in the power play, we need a swing bowler in Indian conditions really badly. That's true. I worry for SA cricket has no foresight. This side is not a winning side. Weirdly, the average age must be over 30. I would be okay with losing if I could see a plan. What is the long term strategy? So, we've been fed this information basically over and over again as fans that the 2027 World Cup is the aim. And that's what people have been saying for quite some time. That 2022 that the 2027 World Cup is the aim and the focus, and that's the one we're going to aim to win. Now, I think the introduction of Gerald Coetzee Deva Brevis, Tristan Stubbs early on now so that we can get them into the setup early so that for the next World Cup they are ready. And I'm hoping that that's the foresight and that's the plan going forward into the rest of the games that we play. Even though I'm upset about this performance, I believe that they will bounce back. And I believe that this team has it in them to put in a better performance than this. This was just a poor batting display today. If the bowlers maybe had a little bit more consistency throughout the match and not only in periods, we would be in a much better space, I think. Um, when I do believe that um, I do believe that people, I, I, I do believe we need to be patient with certain players and harsh on others. This is a senior team, and the senior team needs to perform consistently. That's what we expect from them, and that's what we want. Ahmed, why does Khalid have a YouTube channel? Then pointless of us analyzing of cricket. One doesn't need to be professional to analyze a game of cricket, and everyone is entitled to an opinion, my guy, and that's true. We are. Um, if 2027 is the main focus, then Stubbs should have been selected. A player like Magala and even Lungi and Riza won't be at the next World Cup, so they kind of messed up there. Yes, Lorenzo, that's true. So that's what confused me is because we said, yes, 2027 is the World Cup plan, but we also want to win this one. So that was a little bit contradictory to me because I think that then at least you'll have traveling reserves that will be able to be on yeah. But the reserve thing in a World Cup, there's been so many things that have made me doubt whether that is better for the player or them to play domestic cricket is better. To play cricket or to sit on a bench and never play? Where will they gain more experience? That's the true question that needs to be asked. Uh, these Khalid show, I don't think Rob Walter and CS are going to see and work on. It's all for just satisfaction. Huh? I don't know what you mean. I would focus more with assistant coaches than with Rob. We never talk about batting or bowling coaches. Pakistan wages Verlander while we ignore him. I'm sorry, Khalid. 4-1, we lose the series. Thank you, Jordan. Oh yeah. 4-1, we lose the series. Yeah, let's hope. I mean, I'm going to back these players to. They can't be worse than today, guys. Let's try and say that at least. They can't possibly be worse than today. The way they batted today is not how we know them as players. Rassi's much better than that. Klaasen's much better than that. David's much better than that. Aiden's much better than that. Quinny is much better than that too. Yeah, so yeah, this one for me personally, I want to see a better performance in the next match, a fight. Um, we can beat this Australian team. They're not all that great. This one particular one that's here on tour now. We can beat them. We have it in us to be able to beat them. We just batted so poorly today, and that's all I got to say. So, guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, click that notification bell for all future videos. Um, please do so. We are nearly there for to hit that 4,000 subscriber mark. We're just like 40 away. So please go ahead and do so right away. Please, it really, I would very much appreciate it. I'd also like you guys to please subscribe to Cricket Fanatics Magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every single month. The link is on the screen as well as in the description. Um, I'd also like you guys to please support the channel and become a patron today. The link is on the screen as well as in the description. And I'd also like you guys to please go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all your regular updates. Um, cricketfanaticsmag.com for all your regular updates. Thanks everybody for watching and for tuning in. And I'll see you guys again tomorrow with another preview show. Stay safe. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And peace out.